life be busy. You know what I'm saying? Life be
I
busy, but
understand.
I'd rather be busy than bored.
I could be taking a nap, so I can't say that.
that would be wonderful too, but that
Oh
shit don't.
man, I miss naps. When my baby be complaining about going to lay down, I'd be like, girl, we can switch. We absolutely can.
Naps is I wished I could do it more often. I wish I could, but I can't because if I do, then I'm gonna get lazy.
I
For
ain't gonna
me.
get that. I'm just gonna like lose my new two best friends that have been following me around since college. So
So, all right. I was just writing down some of your books
uh,
so I can make sure that I say them right. So, I need you right now to introduce yourself, to tell everybody the genre you write in, and anything you want them to know before we get into this interview. And just to let you know how I do interviews is it's a conversation, no intrusive questions. It's about your books, you being an author, and just having a good time. I cuss. I'm not drinking today, but you know what I'm saying. We having a good time.
dang, I was hoping for you to have a little something in yourself.
No, not today. It's just water.
Is everybody on dry January? I feel like I didn't do it on purpose, but I'm also trying to remember that food has calories and to not eat my feelings. And so it's just like, damn, everybody is gonna be mad this month, huh? Okay, well, we're gonna all be pissed off together.
I mean, I have a drink. I be having a drink. I be having a drink. Isn't she though? She pretty as hell. Um, I have drinks. I just didn't have one today because my family had worked my nerves so much that yeah, families don't like you to be great because they want all your attention.
I understand. I blame a lot of what I don't get done on my children. Loves of my life that they are. They
Yeah.
are also my greatest distraction. Okay. I am Dandridge Monroe. I write across more genres than I can probably remember. It's all black though. Everybody black.
It's all black though.
All black everything. If they not at least 50%, they not coming, they can't come to the cookout. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's
So
it.
let's get started. So what inspired you to start writing? And how did you find your voice within those genres that you are in?
That's so crazy because I think like everybody, I've always liked writing. I've always liked reading. Like my mom would take me and my brother on Saturday morning to the library, and it was like, okay, find something to read for this week. And she'd go get her stuff, and he'd go get his stuff. Like I read Sweet Valley High, Boxcar Kids, like all that stuff. But the biggest thing was like none of them people look like me. I'm
Mm.
like, okay, these white people having the rags to riches. That's awesome. Where are the brown people? And so I was like, all right, there ain't a whole lot of that. But then I went to college and then I discovered people like Zora Neale Hurston and I love me some Zora Neale Hurston. Underrated, Toni Morrison, things like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it was like, okay, I'm tired of reading because I just graduated and this is just too much on my brain.
I felt that in my spirit. I felt that.
It's a lot. And I got a master's degree, and then it was like trying to hustle with work.
Mm.
And it was when I got engaged to my husband, I was watching CSI Miami,
Mm.
and I did a fan story about one of the characters on CSI Miami, and I turned him into like a completely different person. And I just like tucked that away. It was no big deal. And I actually embarrassing information. I wrote a rap about this dude that I was dealing with in college. Oh, hold on. What beat was it over? It was over it was over Jay-Z's Lucifer beat. It was good too. If I could find that notebook, y'all will understand. Like your girl, I'm multi-talented over here, okay? But
Lord.
he's trash though. We're not gonna go there.
This
But
is a diss track.
it wasn't a diss track. It was more like Never mind. I ain't gonna go there.
Oh,
Um, it wasn't nice. It
yeah.
wasn't mean either. It was just like, damn, it's too bad that like you're just the side nigga and you can't have me the way that you.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Like what the fuck? Oh shit.
Oh,
Yo.
college. Okay,
I thought
college
I
is.
had some experiences in college. Dang.
Um, I had two boyfriends in college. That was wild.
I was more like fuck them and leave them.
I wasn't doing that. See, that's my thing. I'm a Libra, so we
Mm,
are serial monogamous.
oh no, no. I'm a
We
Leo.
apparently that was my only experience with not being, a super straight up just. And I had a great. That was a great 2 years.
She said that was a great 2 years. Well,
It
so
was. I got my life right though. I did. And as soon as I did, I met my husband. He's so good. I love him. He's such a sweetheart. And he knows the story. So it ain't like he gonna be somewhere like, God damn, what did you do? Like he knows. No
so
secrets in this
let me
house.
ask you this. How do you approach like world building and character development with your stories and maintain them without breaking into stereotypes? Because with black characters there's a chance of stereotypes coming out no matter what genre. So how did you do the world building, and how do you do the character development?
I'm gonna say this, and it might sound really controversial, but I think that the only time that black characters fall into quote unquote stereotypical behavior is if they are seen from a gaze of white centeredness, or if they are
Mm,
from a person who encompasses white supremacist values. So, like, you
mm.
might want to believe that you are pro black because we see it every day, especially on this app. People who are like, oh, I just want my people to be better. Y'all need to stop having babies out of wedlock. And it's like, what does a single mother have to do with being great?
Lord Jesus.
Not a thing in this world.
No.
My mom and my daddy got married to each other twice, tried to make it work twice, left that nigga twice. So, I mean, and look at me. I have 3 children. I had a 6-figure job when I was in corporate America. I have 2 degrees. My children all have the same father. I have been married for 12 years and with the same man for 17. So
Mm.
what does single motherhood have to do with being great? I'm pretty great. I live in South
Absolutely.
Carolina. I'm better than at least 60% of the palm colored people here. At least.
Well, black women, as they said yesterday, black women is the most educated people
I don't
in
even care about
America.
that. We'll
I
get
care
rich.
about it.
Y'all leave us alone, okay? Y'all don't want to listen to us until it's too late.
That
Then
is
y'all
true.
will work to undo the foolishness that y'all did. And it's just like I tell my husband, baby, if you would have listened to me the first time, you wouldn't be in this mess now, would you?
That is
And
true.
if you learn from your mistakes, you are destined to repeat them. So you either gonna learn or you gonna repeat them. But one thing you're not gonna do is make me suffer with you.
That is true too. So, how do you? What challenges do you face while you writing? Like, what challenges did you face when you was writing your first book?
Depression,
Ooh.
extreme depression, because I had a miscarriage that almost killed me.
Oh shit.
And I was literally sitting in the bed. And it was wild because I had my first child in 2024. I wrote that fan fiction book in like 2011 and didn't do anything with it. Y'all will see it though, because it's going to be part of the consortium.
Oh hell.
Um, and so like that year, I just needed a happily ever after. I
Mm.
really, because stuff was just so bad, and there was just so much gratitude that I felt in my heart, but my heart and my head couldn't
Mm.
necessarily connect with that gratitude like on a constant. And
Mm.
so writing became the way that I could escape the sadness
Yeah.
and still be grateful enough to be present
Mm.
for everything that life was throwing at me. So my biggest thing was that I didn't know anything about indie publishing at all. My husband challenged me and he was like, how are you going to be a writer if you don't read? And I was like, okay, bet.
Damn.
Points were made. And that's the one thing I love about my husband. He's a Scorpio. He is such an asshole. But he might say things not tinged with the kindness that I want him to have it. Because I'm a Libra. We are sensitive people. Okay? Mm-hmm. But he ain't never wrong. So I read like 800 books in 2017. Because I think I had put the idea out to him about writing in 2017. And all this other stuff. And he was like, but you don't read. I was like, okay. So I read like 200 books. Like, you name it, I read it that year. And then I was like, there's a whole lot of palm-colored people. There are no brown people who are writing books. And then I discovered Christina C. Jones. And I was like, glory, glory, hallelujah. And it was literally the best feeling in the world to start reading her book. I was like, oh, Miss Ma'am is Miss Ma'am. Like, I feel this. It was dripped in melanin and excellence and just it was so multi-dimensional. I was like, yes, this is possible. Like, there are people here who are just like me. Go figure. In my own little corner, in my own little chair. I was like, nobody out here is looking for that. And boy, was I wrong.
So I was trying to save this question like later in this interview, but I can't help it because I need to know what inspires you behind the story of the consortium.
Okay. So the consortium is a funny story. And Tylee, I don't know, when is your birthday and when is your husband's birthday? I'm 9/29. My husband is 11/4. Natasha Bishop is amazing. I love her. So the consortium came to me on a whim because I have a homegirl who was like, I want to write a short story. And I was like, okay, bet we can do like a tandem thing for Valentine's Day. I was finishing up the Blurred and the Babe. And I was like, let me knock this out. We can knock out like a short story, like real quick, like real quick. Right. And then she backed out. And I was like halfway into this book. And she was like, I'm not going to have time to do it. And I was like, dang. Because she had a lot on her plate. I'm not going to, it's not like a plate for no reason. She's backed up. And I was like, do you mind if I continue on with this? Because like, this is going to turn into something. And she was like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care. And so it was literally like, what was the messiest thing I could think of at the time? And Jasmine just started like talking, like that soliloquy that she has in her head as she's walking into the Beacon Grove Hotel was the soliloquy that I heard. And she was like, I don't even really want to marry this nigga. And I was like, girl, why don't we want to marry him? She was like, I don't like him. He don't do this. He don't do that. I'm carrying this. And I was like, oh, he was foul. And then it was just like, ooh. And then slugs came. And I was like, girl, yes. There he go. That's why you don't want to marry that man. Because your future was waiting on you. And he going to beat your past ass while you stay.
Did he ever? Did he ever? And I love Jasmine's sisters. They are fucking nuts. But I love them.
Jada makes my heart happy. Like, whenever Jada comes into my brain, I'm like, okay, bitch, what we finna do?
She's so crazy. She's like diabolical.
And I don't know if you read Gashka yet, but there's a scene. Okay, there's a scene when she's talking about Baltair, and she's just like mad because Liam is telling her that his name in English would be William. And she looks at Baltair and she's like, well, what would your name in English be? And he's like, Walter. And she's choking at the table in front of all his people. Like, oh my God, Jerry, you sleeping with a black man named Walter? And I cried. I had literal tears rolling down my face as I wrote that scene out. I'm like, girl, Miss Sassy about to reach across the table and whoop your ass.
Girl, she is so messy.
She is so messy. She's so messy. I think the my favorite thing that Jada ever did though was when her and Smoke drove that man insane for one another for Valentine's Day. I thought that it was so sweet and so indicative of who they were as a couple. You know, it was just like, okay, so we're gonna do something insane, but it's gonna be for the greater good. So what we finna do?
I love
that. Are we gonna kick him out of his house? Oh, we gonna drive him insane. Okay. Drunk driving, check. Discredit him. It was just like, let's roll out the carpet so that our madness has the ability to just take shape and flourish. And I love them.
They belong together. That was a match made in crazy.
If you see how they are in Scotland, oh, it's so beautiful.
I can't see now. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right. So, which character in your books do you feel the most connected to besides Jada?
Okay, so on the one hand, like when I'm in my corporate America, like business bitch bag, I am very much Billy Briggs. Like I'm gonna come through, I'm gonna handle your business, I'm gonna handle my business, I'm gonna handle their business, I'm gonna set your business up. Like everything is gonna be handled. Come through, you need me, like I'm gonna be there. We're gonna get this shit organized. But like on my off time, I am an honorary Cunningham. Like, and the craziest part about it is that Jada is not the craziest Cunningham sister. It's Jerica.
See, I haven't got there yet.
Jerica does not have the charm that Jada has. Because Jada is going to be crazy and like she's going to let you know up front. Jerica's going to talk until it's just like, oh, okay. This is the path that you chose. It's not the path that... Sorry.
Oh.
Buck.
Oh. So I'm gonna react.
She's just... I love Jerry.
So I'm gonna re-ask this question. What inspired you behind the story? Because I am a paranormal girly. I like everything else that you write, but I am paranormal to my heart. I hope you knew these questions were gonna come for these paranormal stories because some of them I'm waiting for some more books here. So, that's why I had my list. I had to make sure I had my list. Okay, so of the stars with Tricked, what inspired you? What inspired that story? The story behind
Tricked and Treated, like the entire thing to me was almost a testament to one, like blackness, because if nothing else, we are going to survive. You know what I mean? And thrive while we're doing it, no matter how much is trying to hold us down and still I rise. Like it's not going to happen. Like y'all might as well just give it up, but you can't because of fear. But then the other thing was just like the power of love enduring so much to then still recognize love's face, even if you saw it after 3,000 or 4,000 years. You know, it was just like, damn, like y'all really love each other, like for real. That's some cosmic forever love kind of thing. And I loved Alynta and El Haji because it was just like they weren't weak about how they felt. Okay, well, bet. Yeah, like I feel it, you feel it. I kind of remember you, you kind of remember me. All right, we finna smash because that's there. And then I wake up and apparently I can throw light. I can throw light and a nigga's got wings. Like, there's wings on my back. What
Your
is this?
paranormals are like fantasies. They are not like paranormals. They are like fantasy books.
I
So,
was a huge Marvel fan growing up as a kid. Like, Saturday morning cartoons, the few that I got to watch, me and my brother used to like sit in front of the tube TV, 93, and watch X-Men. Like, glued to it. Storm was my. You could not tell me that Storm was not the creator of all things.
Storm is like the ultimate X-Man. Ultimate.
And don't get like everybody's like, oh, Jean Grey, oh, Jean Grey. I'm like, y'all, Jean Grey was a black woman. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell y'all. There is no way that the person who literally can create all things and end all things.
Now, you also have Power Within the Stars.
Yes.
That series is a fantasy series. I don't care how you. I know you the author, but that's a fantasy series to me.
It's like a mix.
I don't know because the world building that you have going on in that book and how you explain the tribes and shifting. It's just fantasy to me. But I like it like that. But it seems fantasy.
I think that I consider it a mix because by the time you get to the third book, there's a crossover to Earth. So I couldn't put it just in the fantasy realm because this place exists outside of Ajabu, you know? Like Ajabu has its thing and then Earth is a place that they don't necessarily know of, but they know exists. And so because it crossed over, I was like, it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Because even in the first book, they talk about how people were going through the mist and they were coming back changed.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I be trying to put myself in the right category. Amazon will come right behind me and switch my categories. Like I don't know my own book, but I'm not even gonna go into that.
Jesus, Amazon be on some bullshit.
Listen, I said one of my books was black literary fiction, and they were like, "No, it's urban fiction." I was like, "How?" Because it takes place in a small town and in a castle in Scotland. So where's the urban setting?
Okay. Okay. So what was the? Wow, that threw me off. So what about Desperados?
Okay, I am a football girly.
What's your favorite team?
Okay, are we talking pro or are we talking college?
Let's go with pro.
Okay, pro, I am married to a diehard Cowboys fan. I do not have a favorite pro team. I will watch literally every pro game that's on because like I just love football. But if like I don't like Dak Prescott, but whatever, that's a whole different thing. But if I'm a cheer for somebody, it's gonna be them because I like my household happy. That man gets real happy when his team wins. It's been a little sad around here lately for like years.
That sounds like my husband and the Lakers.
My husband is from LA. He is also a Lakers fan. He does not like LeBron. It has been a challenging time in our household when it comes to his sports.
Same over here.
Yeah. It's rough. And even for college, like I went to Clemson. So I went to a D1 school. I worked for the football program when I went to Clemson. So the Desperados to me, it was just like, well, I mean, we got to talk about sports. Like if there was going to be somebody who was going to talk about sports, it was going to be me. I love football. Love it.
So you also have the Orphan series.
Oh, my baby.
So how did that come about?
I don't even know. Because Nick and Evangeline were not the first couple that I thought of. The first couple I ever wrote about, besides that fan story that I did, was Liam and Frankie. And their original book was Carolina Falls. And then I put them to the side because there was something about their story that was missing. And then, of course, now it's like 572 pages. So I figured that out. But then it was Adam Hardison, was the actual first person that I was like, well, I'm going to write about him. Like this super fine nerd who was just like tech genius, like everything rolled into one.
Yeah.
And like this girl with this like kickback throwback name from the 50s, because her name was actually Dandridge Monroe. And I was like, damn, I like that name too much. I'm going to steal it. So she became Diana Bailey instead for Diane Carroll and Pearl Bailey.
So what about In the Mist?
That came about because of George Floyd.
That
was very much, I was very anti everything in 2020. Like I got fired February 27th, 2020, because my company had a reorganization. And I used to sell drugs, like legal drugs, not like drugs. But yeah, I used to sell drugs, and they literally fired me on a Friday. And I will forever hold a grudge against this company. They fired me on a Friday. So like me and my kids and my husband were like kicked off our healthcare at 5:00 that evening because they fired me on a Friday, the second to last day of the month. And I only got healthcare through the end of the month, which was the next day. So we had to cancel all of our appointments that we had set up for the year because we had no healthcare. They tried to like dick me around on my insurance, and then the world shut down. And I was like, well, hell, this is a lot going on. 2020 coming in like a bitch.
God damn.
And so then, and my husband's business is based on being out of the house. He's a videographer. He does commercial and wedding videography. So then we're sitting around and it's like, what we finna do? Like, can't nobody leave the house. Nobody can have weddings. Like, weddings were canceled. Weddings were pushed back. It was literally just like massive amounts of turmoil. And then everything happened with George Floyd. And I was like, I got to get this out. I'm a snap. And it's just not going to be pretty. And so I started to write In the Midst. And I wrote Kasim and Mecca Story in, I don't know, like a month. Maybe less than that, because it just, sometimes when something like takes a hold of me, I can't not write. And I've had that happen with like several books. That happened with Kasim and Mecca's book. That happened with Stu's book. I wrote Stu's book in like 3.5 weeks. I was putting up numbers. I'm talking like 11,000 words one day, 7,000 words another day. And it was just like, okay, what are we talking about now? Is this what's going on? And I try not to let things consume me to that point because I was literally at the kitchen table. We homeschool our kids. So like in the middle of homeschooling, I'm like, okay, I need like 10 minutes to get this next 500 words out. Y'all go take a break. And that's how it was. And then I'd get off of that and I'd get on the stair stepper and act like I was going to do my little 5 minutes on the stair stepper. But yeah, that was a messed up year. And that's where the Diallos came out. And a lot of their stories are our stories. Like the story of their grandfather never being seen again. That happened to my great grandfather.
Oh, wow.
Literally, he left the house and no one knows what happened to him.
Oh, shit.
And like back then, people would say, oh, well, he had somebody on the side, or he had a this, or he had a that. And it's like, damn, or y'all just killed him. And he's like buried out in the woods somewhere, and you just don't want to own up to it. Great. Yeah, 2 greats back.
Damn.
So they are what I would consider utopia for us, a place where we can be and thrive, look out for one another, protect one another, even if it's from one another, and just be at peace without outside. You know, it's literally what Black Wall Street would have been had it not been burned to the ground.
Facts. Facts. I can see that. So this ties into the question I have, like, what role do you think like storytelling plays in shaping culture and society?
It has a lot because for the longest time, the only voices that you heard were voices that had to appeal to the white gaze in order to be out in the world.
Mm,
And I think so much of, and not to knock anything that's traditional published, but it's just the truth. People who want books on their shelves want books on their shelves that fit their narrative. Unless a person has enough popularity behind them already to do what it is that they want to. But that's why I love seeing so many of us be indie published because it's like we can tell our stories our way. And so you can't sit here and say, oh, well, this is how it is because this is how so and so said it was. And it's like, no, you're just looking in a place that fits your preconceived notions because there are literally thousands of books that go against the idea that has been ingrained in you. And it's either up to you to do the work or it's up to you to stay in the mindset that you have. And a lot of people are comfortable with the mindset that they have.
yeah.
Sucks to suck, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you can never say that you weren't given the opportunity to do better. You can only say that you refused the opportunity to do better. Because there's way too much knowledge in this world for people to still be stuck in archaic beliefs.
That's true. So how do you think your work fits in the current landscape of anything dealing with literary? How do you how do you feel about your work and how does it fit in the current climate because of all the shit that's going on from banning books to people being a little too tad bit sensitive about shit? But how do you think your work fits in the current literary landscape?
I understand that, like, I ain't for everybody,
Hmm. Hmm.
but the biggest thing about that is I don't want to be.
Mm.
My books are for people who are going to understand if I name a title of one of my chapters, look at that horse, it's a Beyonce reference.
Girl, you got me singing. Got me.
That is the title to one of the chapters that I'm working on right now. It's actually like a lot of country lyrics are woven through the chapter titles because it's just the theme of the book. But like I want people to understand like what stepping means. If you don't know what, black Greek letter organizations are, like you don't need to be reading my book.
Mm.
I'm sorry. And it's not a censorship thing. It's you're not gonna have fun because you probably the bad guy, and that's probably gonna make you feel some kind of way, even if it is the truth. You know what I mean? And I think that people who get overly sensitive about things that are just factual, y'all got to take yourselves out of being in the center for once.
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scheme of things, I just be over here having fun.
It seemed like it. I see the joy from when you're talking about your books, but I can also see the passion about it, and that's the
Right.
best thing for me as a reader to see that you take joy in it as much as we do.
And they be stressing me out, just like they stress y'all out. Like I had somebody say that, they were concerned about themselves because of how much they love the toxicity in Gadiel. And I was like, yeah, I wrote them. How do you think I feel?
I
Because it worked my nerves. Like he stole the engine block out of that girl's car. That came out of my head. How y'all think I feel half the time?
I mean,
We love us a toxic man, okay?
yeah, I ain't even gonna hold you. I do. Not in real
Yeah,
life.
toxic, so I know it's real.
Let me ask you this. Okay,
Real quick.
do you? How do you handle like feedback and criticism of your work?
Uh, now, now there's a difference, okay? Because There's a little palm colored heifer that I had some beef with on Instagram like 2 years ago. Every time I have a release, she gets a notification and she goes and she one stars it.
What?
There's a couple of folks who will hate read my books and will two-star them. It's same people every time. And like I make notes not to respond, but just so that I know, I will take any kind of criticism there is, as long as it's constructive. If you cross the line to disrespectful, you gonna see the woman that my husband married.
You are like the fifth person that I have interviewed that said that shit. What in the?
I will tell you this. I am what people would consider to be in real life one of the ones who would desire to be closer to white-centeredness, because that's the facade that's put on, right? That's what they expect of people who have middle-class upbringings and grew up on the lake and whose mama made buku money and went to PWIs and, is married with the 3 kids and had the 2 dogs. Baby, I'm Black. Don't let this other girl's hair fool you, okay? This is some 4B underneath here, okay? I am Black.
I just want to know. I just want everybody that usually be on here and see me and I be fucking saying what I say. Don't be in the comments no more and say Storm. Don't say shit to me no more.
I'm just saying, because there are people who will, and I believe this honestly, they can only feel better about themselves by tearing other people down.
Which is a
and
shame.
it is. And early criticism of my books were like, damn, she needs an editor. You know what I did? I found an editor. Was the editor great? No. Several of them weren't. And then now, because I had this other baby, because I didn't social distance in 2020, my writing is way too chaotic for me to be on somebody else's.
We're not gonna bypass that. We're just not. I can't. I can't. Go on. Continue. Jesus.
It's the truth. I had my 37th birthday, and I wish I could play y'all the video. And my husband was like, I think we should get a dog or have another baby. And I was like, bruh, I'm finna be old. And like the whole world just shut down. What you talking about having another baby? Like in this economy? Are you kidding me? And he's like, yeah, we'll get a dog. And then like knowing my husband, I was like, he's gonna change his mind and I'm finna be pregnant. 2 weeks later, yeah, do you know that they be like cutting off dogs' nuts? I don't think that that's okay. I think we should have a baby.
Oh,
Sir, you have to procreate because you don't like the way they spay and neuter dogs. And he's like, well, I want you to have the birth experience that you never got with the other 2. And then, we lost the baby and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, if it happens, it happens. I'm old. First try. This potent ass motherfucker.
Lord Jesus. So
that's okay. He's fixed now. Like the puppies he didn't want to be fixed, he's fixed now.
Do you ever incorporate personal experiences into your writing? And if so, you want to share some?
Billy's miscarriage was basically what happened with me. Just like the friend groups that happened, like some of my dearest friends now are people that I met online. And like the women in the group like will be kikiing it up. That's me and my homegirl. And we might not see each other all the time. Like my best friend that I've had since college, her husband is a NFL coach. So he's literally all around the world all the time. I might see her once every other year if I'm lucky. And we might only talk once every other month, but we'll be on the phone for 3 hours. Talking 3 hours. I got group chats that I'm in all throughout the day. If one of my readers like slides into my DMs, y'all gonna get a voice note. and y'all gonna hear them churn in the background. Because I feel like if someone cares enough to reach out, then why wouldn't I talk to them?
True.
Because I'm somebody who thinks that like I am too good to talk to this person or that person. For real, I'd be like, wait, you meant to call me? It's not about my type? Me? Dandridge? Y'all sure? Okay. I ain't gonna knock it. I just wanted to make sure. Because I don't want you talking to the wrong person. Because that would break my heart.
So, what character's journey was the most difficult and most rewarding that you've written, and why?
Antoine's.
Why?
Antoine was somebody who didn't believe in anything. And the only thing that he had was football. Like, that was it. And all anybody ever saw him as was a football player. And it took him doing the wrong thing over and over and over again. And then meeting someone who would not put up with his foolishness to show him that things were not the way that they were presented. Because, you know, his mama is trifling. She uses him like an ATM. She's going to try to use his brother like an ATM. And he had a very skewed perception of women because of that. And so he didn't want anything with them. And then he runs into Soraya, and it's just like, my dude, you're here for the night. You're used to hoeing people. You're my hoe. You can go ahead and get out of my house now.
Oh, damn.
And he doesn't know how to handle that. So, of course, he fumbles her. Terribly. And got kicked in the nuts for it. Understand? Yeah, violence. I love them. They're so toxic.
Oh, my God.
But then they showed each other a different side to one another. And so they are probably combined like the greatest redemption story that I have, because she had toxic family. He had toxic family. And like, just like he didn't believe that there were any good women out there, she didn't believe that there were any good men. And the way that they were able to grow together and be like, okay, I like you, but more than that, I love you. And even worse off, I'm in love with you. I don't know how to handle that, but we're going to figure it out, though. Yeah. I think it was them fighting through everything to figure it out that always gets me about them.
Yeah. So how do you keep a balance between like plot-driven and character-driven parts of your story?
I don't know what these people are going to do. I love how y'all think that I'm like so like planned out and it's mapped out. And it's like, girl, these people talk to me in my head. They be telling me what's going on. Literally, there's something going on in the back of my mind right now. And I'm like, okay, I need to remember that for later. I'm probably going to forget. But then y'all going to tell me it again. Because y'all been telling me off and on all day.
Lord. So do you have any Easter eggs in your books? Like you make sure you put a little Easter egg message in the book. In all of them?
Mm-hmm. There's an underlying theme in literally every book that I write.
Now I gotta go back and read some shit.
Really, a lot of it is just, it all boils down to just being pro-Black. However, if you pro-Black and you part of the mafia, you pro-Black and you part of the mafia. And the mafia is going to sit here and we're going to uplift all the Black people we can while we over here doing these illegal things. Because the biggest gang is the one that runs the government. Let's just be honest.
Them and they people in blue. Anyway,
so if we're going to be anti that and pro us, I'm always going to be for it.
Yeah. What kind of research you be doing?
It's always on the fly. Like all that Gallic is literally me like this at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, how she say that? For real? Okay. I, it's literally me hearing them say something in my head, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to say that in Gallic because you didn't say that in English like that. Or like watching YouTube videos, or like in Priest's book, I had to go and I had to research like the different tribes that came out of Naima's homeland to understand how, if he was back where she was, how he would have had to present things to her to ask her parents for her hand in marriage. It's a lot of stuff that happens on the fly. I know people who will research first and then write, but I never know the direction that any of this stuff is going in. Like when I started writing this book that I'm working on right now, Xerxes wasn't in it. He popped his happy ass up in it last night, though, and I was like, okay, my guy, if this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing.
So you said you do stuff on the fly. So how do you decide the endings of your stories?
I don't decide anything. Do you see this big old head I got? The people who live in here decide. I absolutely do, Jaleesa. Yeah. I don't know if you've read Priest's book.
I just started.
Oh,
I'm scared now.
you should be.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I have to tell you that there is a sermon in Priest's book. It's called Run Tell That. And I grew up when I was younger. And the only great father figure I had was my pastor when I was younger. His name was Reverend George Brown. Amazing man. He passed away almost, is it 2 years ago now or 3 years ago? And he was just a great man. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, priest, you a whole preacher. And we like 75% done with this book, and you ain't preached the word yet. Like y'all dropping scriptures here and there throughout your stuff. I'm like, bro, are we gonna get a word? And sure as I'm sitting here, I'd like Reverend Brown was like, all right, you need a sermon, let's go. And we sat there and we wrote a whole sermon 2 days. That sermon. That sermon was a beautiful message from God and a death threat, all rolled into one.
Well, goddamn. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this book.
Psalms, thy rod and thy staff doth comfort me.
Lord, what's the most surprising feedback you've ever gotten from received from a reader that just threw you?
Feedback or criticism?
No criticism, feedback. Just feedback.
The biggest feedback is when people are like, hey, we like this shit. I'd be like, y'all do? Okay. Every release, I'd be like, these chicks gonna be like, okay, Dandridge, let's try again. Everyone, Gadiel, I was like, they're gonna hate this man. And folks was like, he is amazing. I hated him for a little while, but he is great. I'm like, oh, okay. And then Priest was so different from Liam. I was like, ooh, they not gonna like him. And I'm like, oh my God, we love him. And I'm like, I do too, girl. And then Valtair, I was like, ooh, Valtair is he's a little bit more gentler. And then they were like, oh, he's so wonderful. We love him. Can we have some more? And I was like, okay. Every release, I am absolutely surprised that people like still hang around.
I don't know why you surprised though, because from Slugs on down, it ain't been nothing but we love them.
Flabbergasted that y'all are still here.
What is the one thing for aspiring authors? What's the one advice you would give them trying to publish their first book?
Write the book. Don't think too hard. Don't overanalyze. Do the very best that you can the first time because you're not going to be perfect on your first release. Do not let doubt stop you from doing what it is that you want. Publish the book. And you know what? There is room for correction. There is not room for you to make a first impression again, but there is room for you to make the next best impression that you can. Because I have plenty of people who read, the first iteration of Fortunate, and they were like, "We'll see where you're going." And I'm like, okay, I can handle that. I absolutely can handle it. And it's undergone, edits. It's undergone rewrites. I don't love that story any less because it has been more work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are so worried about things being instantaneous that things taking time is almost a reason for them to give up on it. But you got to throw stuff out there and let it cook. That's the best advice. Nothing is going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
And if it does, it might not have the staying power that you want. Because I sit here and I think about it, if I had overnight success, I would worry myself to death about everything that happens next. And then you're trying to copy the success that you had instead of just being true to the person that you are.
Yeah.
Because, my husband and I, we had this conversation about whoever the author was, changed her characters from being black to being white and sold out or whatever for a movie deal. And he was like, "You wouldn't do that for $10 million?" And I was like, the tagline is melanin love, multiple genres. If I can't get that 10 mil by being me, that 10 mil ain't for me. Because that means there's a part of me I have to leave behind in order to achieve it. And I don't want it.
So many people will sell their soul.
And I'm not going to do that. That's like if somebody was like, "Hey, pick one of your kids you like the least."
Yeah.
And after you lose that one, we'll give you all the... No, I'm good. I'll be broke under the bridge with my 3 babies.
Mm-hmm.
That may be questionable. Okay? But them babies are mine. All right? We're not going to get rid of them. Hey, look, they be acting up sometimes. I love mine. I be signing him to a long-term deal. Every April 21st, he gets renewed on his contract. But that don't mean he don't foul out a couple times during the season, okay? Don't mean I don't want to kick him in the back of his leg because he's too tall to hit.
Yeah, I feel that one. Yeah. What was the most surprising thing that you learned from being published, from being an indie author? What was the most surprising thing you learned since your first book?
That a lot of people who are black are anti-black.
Elaborate, please.
I had Asylum, and this is what I was talking about earlier when I said criticism. I wrote Asylum, and someone left feedback that Billy couldn't use the kind of language that she used because she was educated. Colorism is rampant as hell. It absolutely is. But my thing was people will absolutely internalize things in order to put themselves closer to the proximity of whiteness and acceptance in their everyday lives. Like even when they're not around, looking over their shoulder, like there's a phantom massa over some of these people's shoulders that are literally controlling everything that they do. And it drove me crazy because I have 2 degrees. Like I said, I went to a PWI. I have a degree in biological sciences and an MBA. Scholarship student, made good grades. And I'm a drop nigga every time I feel like. Motherfucker is my favorite word.
Facts. Nigga, my favorite word. Nigga, this, nigga, that, nigga.
And it's just like, why is it how I choose to express myself is so offensive to you? If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. But what you're not going to do is to police me, how I feel and how I am based on what the norm is. Because the norm is straight, white, Christian, and male. Ain't none of that. None of that is me.
No. I mean,
So,
unfortunately, I mean, man, look, I'm a nigga to my heart, but I got a degree in biology. I have been in the military and had to code switch for a long ass time. Every time I picked up rank, I had to learn how to code switch that shit. I can't sound like this. You know what I'm saying? When I was in college at a PWI, I had to code switch for my teachers because I couldn't sound like this. The slang could not come out. Only time it came out was when I was with my D9 sisters. That was it. That was it. Any other time, me and my lab coat, I was very proper and I hated it. But this is the world we live in.
right.
And on the internet, I've learned that a lot of people have opinions that usually are fucking wrong. Um, and they just assume if you act a certain type of way, you just the most ghettoest, hoodest, unintelligent motherfucker on the planet.
Yep.
And it's crazy. If you read urban fiction books, you're hood. You too
Right.
hood. If you read paranormal books, you out of touch. Ugh, why would you want to look at aliens and have them fucking you and this?
Oh, Teen Earth, beam me the fuck up, Scotty. Okay? Just let me take my people with me.
Facts. This whole earth is ghetto. I want to leave. Okay,
Right?
but
It's the weirdest thing when I see people who will talk out of both sides of their neck.
mm,
Like, oh yeah, I love reading black books, but only some black books. Well, what you mean, some? What you mean, some? What's the sum, baby?
mm,
And the other thing that I really hate is when things get miscategorized.
mm.
And then it's just this giant debate that we seem to have yearly about what makes a book black. Black is black. It's indisputable.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all wrote it in the Constitution about what black was. Why, when it comes to literature, is it such a question? Y'all know what black is. If everybody mama ain't black, or if everybody daddy ain't black,
Mm.
if everybody in the book ain't at least 50% black, it's not a black book. It's interracial. It's multiracial. And we gonna rock with it as long as a black woman is finding love. But I need y'all.
And this is where the conflict comes in. With that, I see it so much that it done numb me to the whole topic because it annoys me. When I see a black author, I don't give a fuck if she writing about you got spammed, pammed, in a ham. Okay? That's a black author. I don't give a fuck if she's talking about a cricket or a goddamn baseball. It's a black author. I'm going to support you 100% down. So if you are writing interracial, I understand there is a lot of people who don't like interracial. That is your choice, but shut the fuck up. That's that because when you put down black authors, you give people ammo
Yeah.
to put down black authors.
And I don't like that.
And then
And I don't like us. I'm one of the people I don't like being boxed in. You can't box me in. I'm too many ends for you to box me in. Like, just leave us alone. That's my biggest thing about it. And I think that the whole issue comes up based on how things sell, how things are judged, and how people are able to earn on certain platforms. That's why it's miscategorized the way that it is. But it also goes back to the white gaze, because people want to read an interracial book where you can put yourself in that woman's shoes, because there's a lack of culture in some of them. And they pretend that her, you know, tan skin is really alabaster. But what do I know? I don't know nothing. I just be here.
I just report the news. I, I just, I like all black authors unless you problematic. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
If you problematic, kick bricks. If you the crying bitch, kick bricks. I don't like problematic people. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't bring me no peace, no value in my life. Black literature has always had to fight. That's the bottom line. Black literature has always had to fight under every term under the umbrella. So therefore, when I say I support it, I support it. If y'all don't like it, that's cool. But please stop making these damn think pieces. Please. Jesus. Stop making these goddamn think pieces, because then you got the Booktalk people like, well, you see? You see? And that shit aggs. That is so aggravating.
I stay from over there.
Girl, they be creeping over here like ninjas.
Go over there. I don't want to be over there.
I
I'll
like
have to. I can't, because I'm gonna see something that's gonna piss me off, and then I'm just gonna have a problem. And we finna come up on Black History Month, and I'm protecting my peace because I knew they're gonna start that shit again next month.
I know this app is supposed to go away on the 19th, right? So I know these ignorant bitches is gonna take this shit to Instagram. And I am gonna prepare myself for the month of February that to make videos to say, you dumb bitch, you ignorant bitch, you stupid bitch. Because I know, I just feel it in my shanana that somebody is gonna do it.
I'm going to ignore it like I have been. Because the one thing that's not good is when I get riled up. You know, I don't have no corporate salary to fall back on no more. So I got to act like I got sense for the most part. Everybody has a line, though. You know, some people be sliding my DMs. They'd be a little disrespectful. I'd be like, "Whoo, let me just go ahead and not talk to you for a minute until I can find my center, and then I'm gonna be good."
I guess that's why I became a podcaster, so I can say this shit.
You know, folks really got to understand that you don't know the personality of the people behind the books that you may or may not like. You know,
that's true.
Some of us are. I saw something that was so fitting. It was like, I'm not a retired crash out. I'm a PRN crash out. I'll clock in a minute. And that's how I feel. Because I really, like, I don't want to, but I will.
Yeah, I'm a certifiable. So look, I don't like unions any goddamn way.
Look, them people, I'm not going to stress nobody else's life out when people be acting up. I let people act up how they want to, and I try to channel, like, my inner sales rep, and I put on the best representative that I can, and I give a canned answer and a canned response. And then when you never hear anything else from me and I never acknowledge you again, it's because I don't like you. And I don't want to deal with you. Oh, well, can we talk? No, we can't. No. Did you see my message? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
I'm in the season of blocking. At first, I didn't block people. I'm in the season of blocking because I can't put my hands on everybody. You know what I'm saying? That means jail. And I don't think nobody in this household wants to deal with that. So I'm just going to block people and pray for you, you know, and all that good stuff.
Blocking. You want to know why? I'm petty. I'm too petty to block people. Oh, you wanted to talk bad about me? Baby, watch this glow up. Watch this glow up that you no longer have access to because you decided that you wanted to act a fool. Okay, sure. You know, like, I've blocked exes before, but I know that they know what I'm doing. Because I'm known. Why? I got married, plastered everywhere. Damn, you lost that? I sure did. Hang your head, mourn.
She said, hang your head, mourn. I'm going to use that. Sorrow, prayers. Yep, I'm going to use that. I'm gonna use that.
I am not about to block anybody. Jesus said he is going to prepare a table for me. Where? In the midst of my enemies.
Child,
If
look.
it is not for them to sit there and watch me gorge on life while they starve and suffer, I don't know what the table is for. Unless it's to use as like an autopsy table or something like that.
And see,
But
that's why I can't be at the table with my enemies. Cause that's how I'm rolling.
no, see, I'm a petty, pretty bitch. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna be extra cute.
Mm.
I'm gonna come with like a real face. Hey, girl, how's life? That nigga still cheating? Ooh, too bad. So sad. I guess you couldn't buy him like you thought you could. And I.
And this is why her characters are the way they are. She just
I'm
tells.
not well. I want y'all to know I'm not well. Yes, therapy. See, the way that Priest and Liam and Baltair have therapy, it is soothing to me. You know, they get to cut into flesh and beat flesh, tenderize it, if you will. And some days, I understand that.
Well, if we ever had the purge, you might be able to do that.
I am not going to say what's in my house. My husband is also a former military, so y'all can act stupid if you want.
What branch was he in?
Air Force.
I was in the Marines.
Oh, Lord, you about it, bitch.
I just said I was certifiable.
Well, my ass was too weak to go. I don't like people yelling at me. That's not something I can handle.
I went to boot camp. Yeah. Almost got kicked out of boot camp because I cussed out my damn drill instructor for yelling at me.
See? There would have been no almost. I would have just been gone like, Ma, come get a bitch. It's over.
I fought my drill instructor in the gas chamber. They called my daddy on me from boot camp.
I'm not doing that.
Girl, I was.
No, thank you.
It was every duty station I went to, I done fought somebody. Just because my temper, I'm trying to do better with my life. I'm trying to do better. My temper.
It's been a long time since I've been in trouble that way. Like a long, the street up. That 19 arrests, no convictions. I'm trying not to live that life anymore.
I'm trying to soon. I'm trying.
That's how you have to look at it. I got too much shit to lose. Like I got a house that they could try to put a lien on. Like my freedom. Hello. Life being free.
I mean, it's not the jail aspect that's bothering me. It's just, I'm getting tired of them complaining about me losing my temper. So I'm just gonna chill. I'm chilling this year. I'm gonna be better. I'm be very professional now. Somewhat.
Natoya knows she's crazy. Because only you would be cussing at like a woman of God.
Y'all,
we can keep each other accountable. We can make sure we hold it in the road. She did deserve it. I'm sure she did. She's a nun. Of course she did.
The stuff you find out online, every interview I have, y'all say some wild shit that I'm literally looking at y'all like, wow. Okay.
You know what? But I have learned, because like my best friend from college, she always laughs at me and she tells the story about how her and her dude got into it. And she knew I was crazy because the very first thing I said to her was, I'm about to get my toolbox. And she was like, for what? And I said, because we're about to loosen all the screws on his scooter so that when he goes to ride it tomorrow around campus, he crashes.
Every time. Let me ask you this. You have a plethora of books, right?
Yes.
if you could, and it's only one book now,
Okay.
see it as a film or a series, how would you envision that?
That's too hard.
Why is that too hard?
I need to pick one of my kids.
Huh?
If I had to pick one series, one or
What?
one book,
Mm-hmm.
Power Within the Stars.
I was about to say either Tricked or that
They
one.
all go together though.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say your paranormals, but then I also was gonna say
The Diallo. Or
Slugs.
this is the thing though, because like if you do the Diallos, then you would probably get a contract for the consortium because the consortium makes an appearance in the Diallo book.
Mm.
The Diallos are not to be slept on because Kyan Diallo was literally sitting on a man's dresser as his beheaded lover dripped blood down on the bad guy's face as he slept, just kicking his feet happily.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
You know what? I might need therapy.
I think we all need therapy, but yeah, I do think you need therapy. Yeah, I'm trying to
Listen,
figure out which one of us was in the military for real.
therapy, writing is therapeutic for me. Like if something bad happens during my day, somebody is going to be done for at night. Like somebody is going to have their skin peeled off their body telepathically tonight.
Okay, okay,
No, just write another book.
okay. So, what's the most rewarding part of being an author?
Stuff like this, where I'm sitting around and I'm kicking it, and people are like, and I'm like, for real? Y'all know who I am? Or when people tell me, and like Natoya will sit here and she will talk to me about my people like they're real.
Mm.
Like when people talk to me about my people like they're real, they are real to me. Like deep down, like those are my people. And I think it's probably because they are a little bit like different parts of my personality. So there's like a little bit of me in everybody that you see.
I mean, my favorite scene is always gonna be the funeral and getting stomped, the dead body getting stomped out. You know what I'm saying? That
Say that,
and
don't hit them in the head.
I mean, that's just him. Got to give back all his stuff in his death.
He owed him money.
Yes.
You can't rest peacefully. You over here, you got my girl tied up in your death, and you think you gonna sit in that casket that I paid for? Got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. No, you absolutely are not gonna lay there in a custom suit that your raggedy ass mama had. Take it off him. We'll sell the fabric for scraps if we have to.
You sound like, and she just rolled her ass up in here. You sound like J. Neal, the author. She said the same thing about that scene where she had the dead bodies rose up out the grave so they can re-kill them while they made s'mores and peed on them and giggled and kiki.
When you get to Baltair's book, Jerry says something like that. She wants to find where Baltair's father's grave is so that she can dig him up and piss on his grave.
What in the fuck is wrong with y'all? What the hell?
Listen, you don't get to escape retribution, okay? Hell might be hot, but I ain't there to witness your downfall, all right? I need to know that you suffered, okay? I need to see it. That memory is a memory that will take me, keep me warm throughout all the days of my life.
Okay. Okay, okay. Uh-huh. It's official. All of y'all are nuts.
We are not nuts.
And then she goes, "Come on, yes, ma'am. I like her." If you
There's
weren't,
no.
look, if you wasn't a writer, what other career? I'm scared to ask. What other career path might you go into?
Wildly enough, I wanted to be a doctor.
Same.
I wanted to be a pediatrician. I was like, oh, I love kids. And they're just so wonderful. I want to make them feel better and take care of them and fix their little ouchies. But it was just like one of those things where it was like a very nurturing side of me. Everybody who's saying they love Jada has obviously not read Jada, but I digress. Yeah, I wanted to be a pediatrician, and then I realized that I hated lab, and being around somebody's dead body was not my jam. So yeah,
I loved anatomy. I love cutting into bodies. That shit was awesome.
I loved cutting into certain things.
I just like cutting into bodies. That shit was awesome. I had a. That's. I think I wanted to go into neurosurgery. So I just.
No, I did not have lofty goals like that. Mine was like, I'm gonna fix some broken bones, I'm gonna diagnose some stuff. I am going to, you know, hand out some vaccinations if it comes to that, help kids grow. It was really just, I think, like more maternal than anything, and like my
Yeah.
love for stuff. Because dissecting animals and different things like that, running DNA tests, like Forensic Files was my absolute favorite show growing up as a kid. Like I loved why behind so much stuff. Like why does this happen like this?
I used to volunteer to go to the cadaver lab and just sit in there and work on projects. I love that shit. That shit don't bother me. I think death is fascinating. So yeah. How, how do you balance writing and the other aspects of your life?
What is that?
Balance? I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm
lie. Balance is a lie. It's a lie. I don't know where we got work life balance from when these people in their productivity bullshit decided to take over our lives. Everything was technologically focused, and now we could do more. So then we got to do more, and then it was just like, oh, even though you're doing more, we still need more. Work life balance is a joke. There's no such thing. I'm normally up at 8 o'clock. I normally go to bed between 2 and 3 o'clock.
same, same.
I I do what I can when I can. There are some days when I can write during the day. I didn't write at all today, so I'm gonna be up really late tonight, or I'm just not gonna hit my writing goal, and I'm gonna have to regroup and do it tomorrow. I'm fortunate enough that I have the flexibility, which is why I would never want to be like under a publisher or anything like that. Because my life is just not conducive to it. And my husband always laughs at me and he's like, "You're your own boss. Why are you riding your own ass so hard?" And I'm like, "You don't have all these ideas flowing through your head constantly like I do. Like when you're done with the project, you are done with the project until the next project comes. My projects are all in here, in line, like lined up, trying to have their moment in the sun."
You don't forget
And
anything?
no, it's very rare. And if I feel like I might forget something, I'll just open a doc,
Mm.
type out what it is I'm going to do, or I'll do a voice note. Like there's already a document for Xerxes, there's already a document for Indy, there's voice notes for Indy, there's voice notes for Angel, there's voice. Oh, you haven't met Angel yet.
Where's Angel?
He's in Priest book.
Okay.
And now everybody wants Angel. Everybody wants me to write about Angel immediately, Xerxes immediately, and everybody wants me to write about Parker, who owns the Desperados. And I have to reiterate once again, I don't write about pink people. I've never had a pink person. I cannot give a pink person relationship. I don't even know I don't even want to say justice because that just sounds like so ass backwards. I couldn't do it well because it's inauthentic to the person who I am as a core. Like, I don't want it. So why would I write about it? I don't want that. I mean, is he fine? Yes, he is. Is he multiracial? Sure. He's got like a ancestor back a couple generations who had her land stolen by his paternal ancestors, and that's how they got rich. Of course. Mm-hmm. Write about him? No. He's never going to have a book. Y'all will see him in other people's books, but I don't want to write about that.
So
does he marry a black woman?
Is he marrying a black woman?
He loved him. Oh, he's going to. Yeah. He's dating one right now. Yeah. He's in the book that I'm currently writing. That's the only reason why I'm talking about him in present tense. No. Otherwise, it would just be, Parker, leave me the fuck alone.
So give me your definition of being a black woman, a black author in a space where they try to suppress blackness.
The definition. How I see me or how the world sees me?
Both.
Unstoppable. And that's the problem. That's why there are so many rules that are put in place when it comes to certain things that you can and cannot do on certain platforms, because they know and they understand that. And I have a theory. I have a theory that there are a whole lot more reading our books and then watering it down for their own audiences. Because I don't know if other authors ever experience this, but page reads and ratings never marry up. You know, if the amount of pages that have been read for the consortium, Jada's book would be over 1,000, and it's at 500. Red Roses and Regrets would be over, I think, like 18 or 1900, and it's at 1200. Now, I know some of that is people just don't hit the rating, but is all of it? Because there's a lot of things that happen. There's dummy accounts that happen where people who might be writers need to go and get fresh ideas. And where are ideas always copied from? We ain't going over there to them. We ain't never been like, oh, hey, let's go make this river dance hot. But we fucking could, though. Okay? Like, we ain't never tried to co-opt the motherfucking bagpipe. You know what I'm saying? Shit would be fire if we did. But that's why I say unstoppable. That's why I say that there is a certain element to all this that with all things is underhanded, but we're unstoppable because that is what we fucking do. Like, we are here because there is some ancestor generations back who was like, I refuse to fucking fold. And when I'm sitting here in my house with my fucking first world problems, I'm just like, I'm not gonna fucking fold. Like, I have seasonal depression. And you know what? I'm gonna eat my fucking feelings, but I'm also gonna remember that ancestor who sadly had to give birth to whoever it was that gave me these fucking Siberian genes. Whole ass motherfucker. They didn't fold, so why the fuck am I?
Facts. So how important is it for Black people in general, in the literary world, to be on the same page?
I don't think that there has to be a same page. Same chapter, maybe.
Okay,
same. But I don't think that because we aren't a monolith.
True.
And as much as I would want us to all get on the same page, it's never going to happen. Because people's lived experiences are a far greater influence on them now than the greater good. I don't know if and I'm sure, I think you're younger than I am. I'm 41. I'm sure
You're
you've
younger
seen.
than me.
Okay, we're same age, baby, same age. We've seen the shift from collective community to individualism that has happened since the dawn of social media, right? Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants to do this. It's not about the collective anymore. And I think so much of that is on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so much of that is what is tearing into our combined conscious. You know, I think about African societies were egalitarian before colonialism stepped in. And that's
Yes.
always the thing I try to put into my books. Like, yeah, there might be a king and a queen of the Westlands, but the king of the Westlands is going to go out there when he don't have no magic, and he's going to help y'all build these fucking houses, even though y'all do. Because he's going to make sure his people have the magic and they aren't killing their magic to try to get his back. You know, when his girl Reka came, she was down there baking them Ebon loaves because she understood that she could be of service in the kitchen. Now, did she go and wreck shop? She absolutely did. Like, she killed everybody when it was necessary. Like, go ahead. But it's the simple fact that you do what's necessary for the whole. So us all being on the same page, it's never going to happen because there's always going to be that house one who thinks that they're special because they in the house. And their proximity is going to get better because they got lighter skin or closer access or more money. All I ask is that don't drag us down while you trying to lift yourself up. You don't have to reach back for me, baby. I don't want your hand because your hand is covered in shit and probably blood. So I don't want that. But don't tear me down while you lifting yourself up. Because, bitch, I fight. You step on me and I'm going to make you bleed.
Facts. I'm all for the. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. So what is your vision for us as we move in this new phase? Because TikTok's not gonna be here anymore, right? So this new phase of social media, you know, since we are around the same age, we've seen MySpace, we've seen Black Planet, AOL, all that stuff. So what do you see for us as a community?
I don't think that anything that we would want to build is ever going to remain just us. Because there are people who have contractual obligations with publishers, with companies, where they got to sell as much as they can sell to whoever is willing to buy it. You know, I don't fault people for that. Like, you do what you got to do. It ain't what I would do, but that ain't my life. That ain't my cross. I suck at social media. You know, I laugh with one of my homegirls, Lika. She's Lika's bookish behavior. And I'm like, you'd be so proud of me today. I posted twice. And she'd be like, I am proud of you. And then it'll be like a week. And I'll be like, shit, I ain't posted on TikTok. Because I'm terrible at this. I think that, you know, people don't really like the newsletter thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very steep learning curve for all of us because, you know, the meta platforms are dicey and you know, everybody is saying go to Lemonade. I signed up. I ain't been back over there since. I be on Facebook in my group cutting up and dropping spoilers, and then I be at my house, y'all. I promise. Y'all would catch me in front of this whiteboard with this Snuggie on in my basement 65% of the day. My husband cracks up. He's like, you don't even be in the bed. And like, I see our bedroom when I wake up in the morning and right before I go to sleep. And I be in the house all day.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I have 3 more questions for you before we get out of here. Are there any sequels, spin-offs, companion stories plan for any current work?
So the consortium series is actually going to get broken down once we get all of the like main characters, like the heads of the family, and like some of the other people who have popped up done. It will get broken down by house. So House Miller will have Yakuba's brother Lucky and his sister, whose name I cannot remember because I literally only wrote it like one time. So she's not a real person to me yet. And I tell you, if you don't talk in my head, I don't know you. Because somebody mentioned his character name, and I was like, who the hell is that? And they were like, oh, they were such and I was like, baby, I wrote that one sentence about that person. I don't know them. I'm not even joking. A lot of people want the origin stories for Yakuba's parents because his mama was a librarian before she became a mob wife. That might happen. It ain't gonna happen this year. I love y'all, but no. But yeah, y'all, I gotta get through the 6. Oh, you don't know there's 6 yet. You only know there's 5. Bless your heart. Yeah. There's 6 heads of the consortium.
Okay, so Yakuba. Who's the second book? Liam. No,
that's Jameer. We'll do code names. So it's Owo, Gadiel, Priest. It is Xerxes, who is what is that word in Persian? I can't remember. It's Prince in Persian. It is the Hawaiian, and then number 6 is who you will find out in Priest's book.
Okay, let me hurry up and put these reviews up tonight so I can sit my ass down and dig into this book because I want to know. I want to know.
Other spinoffs. There's not spinoffs planned. I'm finishing up the Diallos.
Okay.
I'm finishing the Diallo Boys, and then there's a crossover, and then there's going to be another crossover between the Real Niggas and the consortium.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So Midas Warren is Xerxes' cousin. Surprise! Midas is actually in the mob.
You see me scratching? I'm like, wait a minute. Okay.
The first cousin. Yes. So it's alluded in. Thank you, Zolani. Thank you, Toy. I knew you would know. I forgot that girl's name. That's Yakuba's sister's name. I'd be forgetting everybody. But yes, Xerxes is the next consortium book. It's gonna be sometime this spring because I gotta write about other people, y'all. Okay, these people been. So the next story is Samp and Izzy. Izzy is Billy Briggs' baby sister. Samson owns the ranch next to Jacoby's farmland out in Black Gold Valley.
Okay.
And there is Tethered that I'm also currently writing, which is book 3 of the Stars. So it's Trick Treated and then Tethered is going to be the 3rd book.
Oh, so okay, gotcha. So, what's next for you as an author? Are there any new genres or styles you might try to dive in and explore?
Yes, I want to write a historical romance next year. It's not going to be this year. It might. No, it's not going to be this year. No, it's going to take. Hey, Phoenix. It's going to take absolutely way too much research on like 1700 New Orleans, but the historical romance that I plan to write is the origin story of the couple that basically freed the ancestors of the consortium family.
I know you fucking lying. What?
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Yeah. So I guess it's technically a consortium spinoff. So it's the Benoit family. And you will hear that name, Benoit, shortly. My brain is a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess.
I can't keep up, man.
Me either. Shit.
Goddamn. So, where can we find you outside this year?
Where am I gonna be? I'm going to 4B in Dallas. No, Mesquite. I'll be in Texas in March, the 14th through the 16th. That's sold out. I will be at Indie Love this year in June. Don't ask me dates. It's not imprinted in my brain. Angel is a Benoit. Yes, it is. And I will be at Southern Heart Sign Kisses in October.
So, how can people get your Facebook group and what's the name of it? How can they get in contact with you? And anything else you want us to know before we get out of here?
I need y'all to just flip. When you get to the end of the books, just flip to the note that I always leave, because I try to leave all of my contact information there. So there's a link to the den at the back of every book. There's a link to email, website. I do have a website. I don't be over there a lot. That might change.
You don't be over at your website a lot.
I mean, what am I going to go over there for?
You have books on the site they can purchase?
Nope.
Oh, wow. Well, never mind.
Listen, it's too difficult to how they want to integrate everything. And it's also dicey within people in that platform to also have stuff on your own platform. So I try my hardest if like I have an event coming up to just open the order forms as early as possible, because when I have an event coming up, I normally do 2 big batch purchases. So like Monica's event is in March. I'm doing a batch purchase at the end of this month and then another one in the middle of next month. So somebody can always reach out to me and be like, hey, I want to order something. When it comes to the event that Indie Love, I'm probably going to open Indie Love up as soon as I get back from Monica's. And then I'll just do a big batch purchase and then another one. You can always contact me to see what I have on hand, because I always try to order extra of what people want. And I'm always wrong. Every time. I'll order a whole bunch of consortium books and somebody will be like, hey, do you have any Fortunate? I'll be like, baby, no, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody read that. Ain't nobody read that? Do you have any of those in the mid series? You know what that is? Don't nobody read that? I appreciate you.
Jesus Christ. So, with that being said, I appreciate you for coming on here and talking with me. I hope you had a good time. I hope I wasn't too bad of an interviewer. So,
You're a professional. Oh, the pillows? If y'all want a pillow, y'all got to just call. Y'all got to just.
What pillows?
You haven't seen my character pillows?
No.
Oh my God, they are so fun. I don't even have one here. I'll have to send you a picture of it. Yes. I had a Yakuba pillow made for Southern Hearts and Sign Kisses. It was like, he's like yay big. And I had 3 made. I gave 2 away, and Dime stole the other one.
So how can we go about to get a I want some. How can we?
I always tell people, just DM me what it is that you want. You did get yours. Yes. Just DM me. Tell me what size you want. I'll order it for you. Now, y'all know they finna go on vacation in China in like 10 days. So.
Oh, yeah, the Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year is coming up on the 29th, and them people celebrate early. So I'll get it ordered. I'm actually probably going to buy like a batch of them. I'm not looking forward to that order. They're going to be like, you want 15 giant man-sized pillows? I sure did. Mm-hmm. I think it was like 70 inches, and he's about that big.
This is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see my husband's face when he turn over and look at another nigga.
Please don't get divorced behind a pillow. Mine was like, if you buy a whole bunch of them, where you finna put them? Because they not coming in our room. I'm like, defeat the damn purpose.
If I have to deal with his frat brothers, he can deal with that. Oh. But you seem like you had a good time though.
Oh, I did. I mean, like me and my line sisters, like we ain't too tough no more. But I still beat a bitch's ass behind every line. That shit there for life. I took that seriously. Them like vows. And but now
Look,
I might,
look,
but I'll beat it. I hope y'all
look.
never have to experience me losing my temper.
Yeah, because she just proved to us why.
I didn't prove anything. I'm the sweetest girl in the world.
See how that switched? Just switched,
I have a mom,
child.
cookies, I bake bread, I garden.
And you know what? And those be the most craziest ones.
Listen, I can swing a hoe.
See,
Literally.
see how that went left. See how that went left real quick. See how that went left. We baby, we read the books. We know, right, right. But anywho, I appreciate you coming on here.
Thank you for having me.
You're so fun. You're so fun. But I appreciate.
I'm touched. I appreciate it. I put my crazy on the front porch. That's where you know.
Oh
You
my
know what you get. Okay. There is no representative.
Jesus. Okay. So if y'all
You're gonna need it if you're reading Priest, okay? Oh, just a warning. Priest is gonna start off real wild. Real wild. And then it's gonna get real sweet. I mean, melt your heart, rom com, precious moments. There's going to be the giving of a bracelet in an office. It is going to touch your inner romantic. And then that shit's going to push you off a fucking cliff. Just wait till you get to dinner.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm scared. All right. I'm gonna just get in your inbox and say what the fuck. That's all I'm saying. What the fuck?
I'd be like, yeah, girl, I don't know either.
Like, what the fuck? Jesus. Oh, okay. All right. So let me get off here so I can get these reviews up because I'm gonna promise all these authors after I done read their books.
I hope y'all have a good evening. Thank y'all for having me.